Hey everyone, it's Megan from Bookish Delights. So this video is a top 10 favorites of all time, and this was requested by Smoothie Lover 07. So shout out to them, and this is in no particular order. I don't give out 5 stars freely. Let's just get right into it. So the first one I have is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I read this for an English class in college. We were learning a lot about alchemy in that class. We also had to write in our books and highlight. It was very highly encouraged, so that kind of got me into highlighting and annotating my books. Although the highlighter that I used, it not necessarily bled through, but it transferred. I also have The Haunting of Hill House. This is by Shirley Jackson. I'm not sure if I said who this was from. This is Robert Louis Stevenson. I read this in the same class, and this is paranormal, and there's a lot of ghost activity, and it's just a haunting. And it also was turned into a TV show on Netflix, although I didn't like the TV show. I don't even think I finished watching the first episode. It was either the first episode or the second episode that I just had to stop watching. I did not like it. It did not follow the storyline of this, because in this, the group of 3 or 4 students plus the doctor, the professor who were investigating the house, they did not know each other previously to this. But in the TV show, 2 or 3 of the main characters are siblings or just related somehow, or they're friends. It's not right. That's not how it should have been. The next one I have is Night by Elie Wiesel. This is about his experience in the Holocaust. He's recalling his experiences. I had to read this in high school, and I loved it. So many emotions and raw emotions, and I can't begin to explain the experiences from this. It's not an uplifting novel. It's anything dealing with the Holocaust is not really all that uplifting, but it's still a great read. And this is actually a trilogy. The next 2 are Dawn and Day, and I have those 2 and I have yet to read them. The other one that I read in high school is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Spoke about this in a previous video. I freaking love this. I'm after rereading it. I will continue to reread it. I love the movie as well. It's not very often that I will love the movie and book kind of equally. Obviously I love the book more, but the movie was also really well put together. Also, I don't know what's going on, but mine is peeling. It doesn't have a sunburn. It shouldn't peel. And I also love this because it has deckled edges, and I love deckled edges. I don't have the original copy from high school, because when you're in high school you don't actually buy, or at least in my school, you don't buy your textbooks or your reading materials. The school just usually just has a whole bunch because they use the same curriculum each year, reading material each year, so it's just reused books. But I finally have my own copy, and I don't think haven't annotated this copy yet, so I think in my next reread I will annotate it. Moving on, we have now, this is probably gonna be a little controversial to people because I quite enjoyed The Maze Runner, and this is by James Dashner. Now his name has been put through some things, and I don't really like to read up on authors like that, even though I probably should, because I just really enjoyed this series. I didn't like the companion novel that came out with it. I read this when I was in college, and this, for like a short period of time in college, I read a ton, and it was because this book that got me really back into reading. So I think if I were to go back and reread it, I wouldn't like it as much, but it's still like a great love of mine, so I'm going to keep it as my top 10 of all time currently. Now, as I read more throughout the year, this might get bumped down. You never know. This isn't like set in stone forever. The next one I have is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I should learn authors' names before I do videos, but that's a little bit too much work that I'm not willing to put in. I loved it so much that I hardly annotated it. It kind of deals with heavy aspects in the story, but it's also, it has humor and it's lighthearted, and it's also a really cute little movie I watched along with it. So it's a nice short little read. The main character's name, August or Augie, he has some type of defect or disorder, something to do with like his facial features that it isn't normal, and it just deals with his experiences growing up with it and starting a public school. So it's in the kid's perspective, although I think there are a few chapters that are in like his sister's point of view or like his parents. Oh, it is a nice little read. I liked it, and I will continue to reread it and continue to love it. The next two are my like top 2 favorite series currently, and will probably forever be like my top 2. So the first one is Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. I have talked about this in several other videos of mine, and I freaking love it. I still have yet to continue reading on in the series. That's just because I have so many books on my shelf that I want to read. This is another case where I didn't really annotate it like at all as I was reading it, because I was just so engrossed in the story that I couldn't put it down long enough to annotate it. The last physical book I have is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This one I did annotate. I really wanted to annotate this one, and I'm glad I did. I freaking love this. This is going to be another series that I reread. I finally had my hands on Finale. Just haven't read it yet because this month my reading has not gone to plan. So this is one of my top favorite books. Like I said, this has like magic in it. There's like a game. This is just beautiful. I love just looking at this. So the last book I have, I don't have a physical copy of it. I read it in high school. So like I said, like back in with my school, you don't buy your textbooks or any of the reading material. It's just given to you, and you have to give it back at the end of the lesson or the unit or whatever. So, and that is Hatchet by Gary Paulson. I love this book. It's one of those books that I read in high school that just stuck with me, and I don't remember everything that happened, but I remembered like bits and pieces of the book, and like I can still imagine like different scenes in my head. Like I'm a visual learner, I'm a visual person, so when I'm reading books, no matter what type of book it is, I like envision everything in my head, so I can still remember like what I envision like some parts of the scenes being. I don't know if it ever came out as a movie. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I read it, and I want to get a copy for my own so I can read it and annotate it. Now, it's been so long and I can't quite remember like all that much about it. All I know is that the main character, the guy, I'm not sure how old he is, but it was like a little plane he was in. Him and the pilot, I don't know if there's any other passengers, I can't remember. The plane went down, it crashed, but he may be the only survivor. So it's just him trying to survive in the wilderness, That's about all I can remember. So I hope you guys liked that video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All my links are in the description below. And with that said, I did make a Twitter account for books. So I have a book related Twitter, and that is Bookish Delights. I will leave my Twitter link down below like always with the rest of them. If you have any other video suggestions, comment them below. And I would like to see what are your top favorite books of all time. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you next time.